But just going, the talk of the town is Howard Beck from The Ringer talked a little bit the other day about the Knicks off season, and he basically said this. This is a quote. One thing has not changed. However, the Knicks now, as ever, are in a perpetual hunt for another glitzy star. Dolan, as ever, expects one. This is factual, said a source with ties to the Garden. The Rose Wesley team promised him stars, the source said. He didn't hire them for their experience running a basketball team. Had the Knicks faltered on the court like they have the past 2 years, you would have seen the old Knicks like the past 24 years. Heads would have rolled, but James Dolan definitely wants a superstar. Now, we talked about this the other day. We actually gave James Dolan some props because these last couple of years, and it hasn't been a great ride with James Dolan these last 25 years. But we said, listen, he's never had a problem cutting the check. We can't, he like Steinbrenner. Steinbrenner used to met on the Yankees, and Yankees had a downtime before, 96 and the Jeter and the core four with Mario and Mariano and Bernie, and we know the names. But Steinbrenner never scared to cut the check. Neither was Dolan. But the problem with Dolan, he'd meddle a lot. He'd hire the wrong basketball people, the Phil Jackson era. We all know about that. The Jeff Hornaceks, the Derek Fishers, and on and on and on. There's so many fucking names. You know what I'm saying? We get the whole Isaiah Thomas shit. You know what I mean?
Herb Williams and
shout out to Herb. The Herb was the best guy and the Nick guy, but
but he put a lot of those guys in bad positions. Thomas and it's just Isaiah, like what did you expect?
Right, with the whole scandal and you had, like you say, Herb Williams, Jeff Hornacek, and just Wood was good. Wood was in there. Wood was a really good hire, but then he fired Wood. So
they fired him.
I didn't, it didn't even make sense. But that was more Donnie Walsh around that time. He kind of cut Donnie Walsh's legs from under him, and that's the story for another day. Donnie Walsh, I thought, was a really good GM, and I thought Dolan had not like handcuffed him, I thought Donnie Walsh could have made some real progress here. We were on our way, but that's another story for another day. Look, is Leon Rose and West feeling pressure now, you think, in your opinion, from having to go out and get a superstar? They've been patient thus far, right? They've been so patient, even when us as Knicks fans weren't as patient. A lot of the not overpaying for Donovan Mitchell, you know what I'm saying? Paul George. The deal was basically done, if you guys remember that shit. The Paul George deal was done. Paul George should have been a Knick, but he wanted an extension. Not Donnie Walsh, excuse me. Leon Rose and them said, nah, we're not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna do it. Well, we love Paul George, yes, but we're not gonna extend them. You know what I'm saying? And that's so smart. And they've been so patient, and they've been so smart, and they've been stockpiling draft picks, and they've been sometimes less is more. Sometimes not making the move is the big move, right? But now I'm starting to feel like, is Dolan kind of leaning on them a little bit? You know what I mean? Is he saying, go out and get this guy no matter what the cost is? Because bringing a big time guy in here, it can be amazing. It's fun, it's exciting, but it's also chemistry and fabric changing, right? You know what I mean? Something's gonna change. If you don't bring the right guy in here, the right coach guy, the right Tibbs guy, so to speak, he might be great on paper, but you might be altering the chemistry of that team, right? Do you think that Dolan is leaning on them to get a superstar? And do you think Leon Rose and them? I think they're strong enough to do it. But what's your take on this whole shit, really?
The way that they've been planning out their business thus far, I think even if he did come in and say, "Hey, I want a superstar, I want this, I want that, and the third," they'll be smart enough to come with a presentation and be like, "Listen, you already got a superstar. You got damn near Jalen Brunson, who's damn near gonna be a superstar, if not
is a superstar.
It is a superstar." And if you want
top 5 MVP voting and you're second team All NBA, to me that equals superstar. Go ahead.
Exactly, and I don't know, like, if they do crumble under pressure, then that's because pressure was given to them, and I don't know, I don't know what goes behind these conference doors, and all these meetings and what gets said and how contracts say, and what threats get thrown out there, because anybody can be fired any day with these guys. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like they're the players. Like, can't just fire a player. You got to trade them. Somebody's gonna pay them. They're still gonna get their money. I don't think so. I think Dolan might have said it, but I think it could just be a lot of misinterpretation, to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
because it wouldn't be smart. Because like, who wants a superstar when you can win championships or be a great team? Like, because
Yeah.
what's gonna happen? You're gonna have a whole bunch of discourse. I think at this point, Dolan has built up his image to the Knicks fan base
Yeah.
to the point where he's no longer hated at this point because the Knicks are doing so well. So why have why have force somebody to make a bad decision that could potentially hurt the organization, and then we could benefit depending on who they bring in, and it could be a superstar, but bring in a superstar and next thing you know, we're not in the playoffs for 5 more years. What do you think is gonna happen? Like, there has to be some type of intelligence in his brain. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he has to think like, what's the pros and what's the cons? Like, damn, these guys love me for the past couple of years since Thibodeau been here.
Yeah.
But damn, if I just make people do what what I want them to do, and it doesn't work out, who the
Mm-hmm.
fuck who's to blame? I'm not putting it on Leon Rose because they don't, in my opinion, if the Knicks do something out of character,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems like something that we wouldn't have normally done to build a great team that we've been doing for the past 4 years,
Yep.
then all the blame's going to be shifted to Dolan. And I don't think that's not going to benefit him at all. It's not going to benefit the ticket sales. Not going to benefit, because what are you going to do? Start rebuilding all over again for the next 25 years?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And fulfilling people's hopes and dreams. I think at this point we need a championship so bad. We said it has to be the right person. The only superstar that I think that fits is either Kevin Durant or maybe like a Giannis or maybe an Embiid. Like, those are, but that's all depending on what's giving up. So if he's gonna put these people in the position, Leon Rose and Raul West, they're gonna come to them and say, "Look, this is what we're gonna lose. Yeah, we'll give you Kevin Durant, but hey, this is what they want for him. Now you
Yeah.
want us to hurt the next 15 years of our franchise? Hey, this is who they're gonna get. This is who they want for
Yeah.
Giannis. You
Yeah.
you want us to hurt the next 10 years for our franchise? They'll have
Yeah.
no draft picks,
Yeah.
have no bench, and next thing you know, we're not in the playoffs because the East is gonna be getting better. The East is getting better. So, and it's going to be competing. We got to compete against all these young guys. The Pacers are going to continue. The Magic are going to get better. What I mean? The Cavs are going to get better. So that's something that they have to worry about. I'm not worrying about that at this point. I feel content on how they're going to approach that meeting when it comes time to, and the decision that they make. I think it's going to be exactly what was needed to happen.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. Yeah. Yeah. Very good points. I think you have to, like I said, be very careful with how you tinker with. I do think we obviously need some pieces. Um, we have the Bogdan contract. We have a lot of draft picks. It looks like Mitch is going to be on the trading block. It looks like they're going to try to push to re-sign Hartenstein. That's what it's kind of looking like. So you have some really good pieces. Um, I think you got to be careful. Now, I mean, it's like almost like walking in a minefield. I equate it to that, like, because one wrong move and boom, you know what I mean. You can fuck the whole shit up. Like,
Mhm.
you bring in a everyone's been talking about the book, right? You bring in a book, right? And say maybe you got to give up. I don't know what it'll take to get a book, but let's say you got to give up a Julius, right? On paper, are we better? Maybe, but paper ain't real life. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be like you said, you got to be real careful and tinkering with the fabric of these teams. You got to bring in like a Tibbs guy. Tibbs is going to be the new coach. He's going to get extended. I mean, he's going to be the coach to continue on. He's going to get extended. He's going to get his bag, which he deserves. It's very tricky, man. I'm fascinated to see who the Knicks are going to get. I'm not necessarily sure it's gonna be a star. I'm like, yo, run it back with Julius and let's add some depth. Let's add a big guy on the wing to back up OG. Let's maybe bring in a guy to replace Mitch. Um, and maybe if you can get a Paul George for not an exorbitant price, I think Paul George fit wise. Now I'm talking about contract wise, fit wise. I think Paul George would fit beautifully. You know what I'm saying? He's a
Mhm.
scorer. He's a two-way player. He plays defense, so Tibbs would love him, and he can get buckets at will down the stretch. And we always talked about that.
And
Who's
he
going to
got
help?
height.
And he's got some. Yeah, he's a big two. You know, he even could play a little bit three when they go small. Who's going to help Jalen Brunson now? You know, Devo. Yes, we love Devo. You know, but Devo to me is he's not consistent enough. We need that guy. We always talked about it. We've been on the air for a year now. A certified bucket. Who's the certified bucket? I think Paul George would fit. Obviously, I think KD would be a good fit. We got a lot of feedback on Twitter. On Facebook and Twitter from that clip we put out of us talking about KD. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can understand the good points and I can understand the points you were arguing. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just talking about fit wise. Somebody, could you? I feel like you could almost drop KD in anywhere and he fit in because he doesn't dominate the ball. He doesn't have the super high usage rate. You know what I'm saying? He can work without the ball. He's very efficient. He's really like he fits in seamless almost anywhere. And I think Paul George is like almost like a poor man's KD, but plays better defense. So I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind that if we could get PG at the right price. I would love it if we could keep Julius and get PG. But again, Steve Ballmer, the owner of the Clippers, not sure he's gonna want to let PG go. Um, they're coming. They're opening up a new stadium out there. You know, they're gonna want some star power. I think PG has a player option. I think PG could opt out. We'll see how that goes. I don't see. I don't know if it's smoke and mirrors, but I feel like the Knicks are moving away from the whole Donovan Mitchell thing. You know what I'm saying? Cleveland is out here tripping. You're hearing reports that they want an exorbitant price tag on a trade for Donovan Mitchell. Yo, Q, let me ask you this. What the fuck is Cleveland doing? Who's running shit over there in Cleveland? You know what I'm saying? Who in the fuck is running? Like, explain this to me. You know what I'm saying? You listen, Donovan Mitchell. Everyone in the fucking world know Donovan Mitchell was walking out them doors. You know what I'm saying? I know there's reports that he might sign the extension. He ain't signing the extension. And if he does sign the extension, Rich Paul from Clutch Sports, LeBron's agent, said that if he signs the extension, we want to get Darius Garland out of here. You know what I mean? So that tandem is going to be broken up. But everyone knows Donovan Mitchell has been saying since he's got there, basically, yo, I'm not re-signing with Cleveland, right? You should have traded Donovan last year. You know what I'm saying? Because you know he was walking out the door. So if I'm a GM, why in the world would I pay your fucking crazy price tag? Bobby Marks, who's an NBA reporter from ESPN, said it would take basically Bogdanovich, DiVincenzo, and 3 first-round picks. Why the fuck would I give you that if you're gonna walk out the door anyway in a fucking year and I could get you during free agency? What Cleveland needs to do is don't be stupid. Don't go into the season with this dude as a dead man walking. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna ask for too much. Nobody's gonna want to fuck with you. You have no leverage, and he's gonna walk out the fucking door, and you're gonna get nothing. Don't be stupid. Don't. What are your thoughts on that?
No, yeah, yo, I totally agree, and this is exactly why, this is exactly why I love football so much, because a lot of this shit is always behind closed doors unless the players are making announcements. You think GMs are always like, and owners are like, hey, yeah, we're getting him, or we're gonna do this. Hell no, man, because you never know what can happen on draft day. Crazy shit happens on draft day. You get a player, you get draft picks, you get players, you get all types of shit, man. You get the water boy. Yo, they fucked up as soon as they said we're not letting him go. And they gave a limit. So you know what it's gonna be? Everybody's just gonna hold out, and it's gonna be like Black Friday. Everybody's gonna shoot them deals.
Yeah.
And then what's gonna happen? The last one with the worst deal at that crunch time moment is the one to be either to get him. If not, he's just walking away, and you're just gonna have to and then whoever's that GM at that point is probably gonna end up getting whoever's the GM of I don't know who the GM is right now, the Cavaliers, but whoever he is, if he lets Donovan Mitchell go away for free right now, he's getting fired.
Yo, they just fired Bernie Bickerstaff. They got a lot of shit going on over there. Bernie Bickerstaff Jr., whatever. They got a lot of shit going on over there, man. What do you think the Knicks are gonna do in the draft? You know, they have. Let me look what they got. They have. I just had it up. Okay, so they have 2 picks this year in the first round, 24 and 25. Dallas's pick, at 24, and then they have their own pick at 25. In our thread earlier,